Yeah, so this is it. This is my boob job video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an entirely different one that I've never spoken about before, and I really didn't have plans to film this. However, I do get a lot of requests for this. In all of my time on YouTube, this is one of the most requested videos. So I figured if I'm gonna do it, why not do it for Vlogmas? First and foremost, I got my breast augmentation, I think almost 2.5 years ago, so August. And I hate talking about it because, correction, I used to hate talking about it because I was worried about what people thought. And then I don't know what shifted me. I was like, I don't really care what people think because this is a decision I made for myself because I wanted to. I did tons of research on it. And yeah, like I said, it was something that I did for myself, not for anybody else. So let's get started with this timetable. So I have wanted a breast augmentation my entire life, literally. In high school, it was something that I wanted, and I blame that on my peers because I went to a school in Miami that got like plastic surgery for their birthday, for like their 16th birthday. And obviously my parents weren't about that life. They never wanted me to have plastic surgery. That's a whole different conversation. But it was something that was always in the back of my head. I was a dancer all my life, so I was always very flat-chested. I don't know if it was like genetics, but I feel like if you're a ballerina, your boobs just don't grow. Like, check out all the ballerinas, except like Misty Copeland, but that's like an exception. She's like an exception to everything. But mostly the majority of ballerinas, dancers are smaller chested. So that went on for years and years and years. I always mentioned it to my mom, my parents, that I was gonna get a boob job and this and that. And they were just like, no, you're not, because they weren't gonna buy it for me, clearly. So let's fast forward to, I don't know, New York. So I moved to New York, and you guys know that I went to New York to pursue modeling. And in that world, having a larger chest isn't like necessarily like the greatest thing in the world. It's more about being proportioned. And that's one of the biggest things that I got when I went to agencies, that my butt was too big and that my body was not proportionate enough for plus size and, you know, all that stuff. So once I kind of shifted from that and started weight training some more, I would wear athletic clothing to the gym and sports bras, and I was just so extremely flat-chested. If I thought I was flat-chested before, I was flat-chested even more with a sports bra. So, oh, and I should also point out the fact that I always wore padded bras. Always, because I was just so insecure about my boobs. But I just started doing my research. I made a giant list of doctors in the area, went from the cheap ones to the really expensive ones, and literally went crazy on the research. I checked on YouTube, I watched surgeries on YouTube, I went on this website, I forget what it was called, but you create an account and people talk about the doctors, their experiences, the doctor can write back to you if you have a question. It was really, really great information, and if I remember the name, I'll put it in the description box below. But what I'm saying here is that I did my research. It's not this thing that I woke up on a whim and was like, I want to get a boob job, you know? So it was very thought out. One thing I do want to say in regards to plastic surgery or finding a doctor, for whatever surgery it is, it's make sure that they're board certified. Make sure that they are part of like an esteemed medical society. Check out their resume, do your research, ask to talk to their clients. Don't just rely on Yelp reviews. Like, you can go into your doctor and ask if you can speak to a past client to hear about their experiences. I did that, and that's ultimately why I went with my doctor. Don't always go with the cheapest option. I sure did not. My surgery was almost $10,000. I know. When I think about it, I'm like, holy shit. But, you know, I wanted to go with someone who knew what they were doing. Like in New York City, there are these ads on the train that this woman's holding like 2 melons up to her boobs, and it's like, you can get your boobs in 24 hours, and it's like for $3,000. And, you know, I don't know about you, but for me, I don't want to risk putting something into my body that's like not well taken care of, it's not sterilized, you know, and it wasn't a risk that I was willing to take. So like I said, I went with my doctor. Actually, I don't think I've mentioned his name. His name is Dr. Tarani in New York City on 5th Avenue, nonetheless. Dang, Yami, you couldn't like But like I said, I wanted to go with someone that knew what they were doing, had the experience, and The other reason I went with my doctor is because he did a procedure that no one really else does. The surgery is done through the belly button. So I have no scars. I have, you know, none of that. And that's actually something that I really wanted just because I didn't want the scars. I have minimal scarring. None, actually. Here, I'll show you. Excuse my sweatpants. But you can't really even see anything. And that's pretty much it. That's a little backstory on how I got to my doctor, I think. If you have any questions on that, feel free to ask me down below and I'll answer them. Okay, so my boobs, what kind, what I do, all that good stuff. So I went with saline for 2 reasons. Number one, if I was gonna get a boob job, I was gonna go with, I'd say like, I don't wanna say the safest, but if it leaks, it's just salt water. So nothing is going into my body. And number two, saline is the only way they can do the surgery through the belly button, because what they do is they, I gotta stand up again. What they do is they make an insertion above the belly button and then they create like a track, like a V up to your boobies. And then they go back in with I guess a tube, and they insert the bag and then they fill the bag with the water. Hope that made sense. There are YouTube videos about it. If you are not like squeezy or anything, I'd recommend you checking it out if this is something you want to do. Like I said, I watched countless YouTube videos because I wanted to be as educated as I possibly could. My size, I think it's a 340 cc filled to 360. So the bag is for 330 and then, or 340, whatever I said, and then he filled it up to 360. So I told him that I wanted to look as natural as possible. I didn't want these overly huge boobs. Like, the reason I got these boobs were not to like show them off. You guys know that I barely show them off. I just wanted to feel comfortable in my skin and just be proportionate. So what else? Oh, the aftermath. So recovery for me was brutal. I was in bed for about 2.5 weeks. I don't know if it's because of the procedure that I went through the belly button. So I kind of lost all my abdominal strength. You know, I was literally in bed and on the couch, but it was rough. A lot of people I know had their surgery and like the next day they're like out dancing and partying, and I'm over here like, did I ruin my life? No joke, I cried my eyes out. I was like in booby depression. That night when I got home, I was like, I don't want this, take it out. But I'm happy now, so that's all that matters. Recovery wasn't very, very easy for me. Thankfully, I had Taz to help me with like waking up in the middle of the night, giving me the medicine, washing my hair. It was all very sweet. Another thing I will say, the medicine that I took got me so high that I didn't take him ever again. So I was dealing with the pain. I hated the way the medicine made me feel, so I just dealt with the pain. And then after that, after a couple weeks, I was cleared to do lower body exercises like body weight lunges, squats, stuff like that, some cardio. And then it was like not after like, I think 8 weeks that I was cleared to do upper body. And even to this day, like I'll be doing like a lat pull down and I'll feel like the muscle tightening up down here, or the bag, I don't know what it is, but I feel something. And yeah, so that's kind of it. I didn't think this video was going to be very long because I did my research. Like, there was really not much to talk about. I did my research, I knew what I wanted. I will say that I went to my doctor with like a vision board, if you will, of like what I wanted it to look like. And that's when we came to the conclusion of my sizing, the best like shape for the boobs. I went with round. I didn't go with like teardrop or gummy bear or anything, just because I think it looks the most natural. And to be honest, I'm very, very happy with the result of them. The one thing I will say is that when I was in competition prep, my body fat got so low that they looked ridiculously fake, and that's when I hated them the most. But now that I have a little bit more body fat on me, it looks quite normal. And when I tell people that I have a boob job, they're like, meh, you have a boob job? So yes, I have a boob job. One thing I will say, it does not define me. It does not change who I am as a person. I am still the same Yami I was before then. I'm just a little bit more confident. I wear clothes a little bit differently now, but that's it. Please refrain all judgments because they're honestly not wanted here. I'm all about live and let live. And if you want to have surgery for whatever reason, that's your life and that's your decision to make. So I hope that you guys respect this decision for me to, you know, do it, I guess, and also respect the decision to share, because when I was going through my surgery, I didn't find anybody that did the surgery through the belly button. And, you know, I had thoughts of making a YouTube video about it, but then I was like, oh, but what are people gonna think and this and that, and my mentality has changed quite a bit since then. So like I said, I just want to be honest and open about my experience and in turn hopefully help someone else out. So let me think, anything else. I went through pricing, I went through the doctor, my recovery. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, one question that I did get a couple times is if my boobs get in the way of yoga, like poses and stuff. And not really, it's just, you know, you just gotta maneuver around them. So what's someone gonna do with like real boobs? Are they not gonna do yoga because they boobs? No, just work around it. One thing I will say though is that finally now I'm starting to sleep on my stomach again. I wasn't able to sleep on my chest for a really long time, and even still now, like I'll start laying down, but then I just can't handle it. So, you know, I'm still kind of in the infancy stage of my boob job. So they're still, I guess, settling, if you will. They're not like totally set, I think, for like 3 years or something like that. So that's it. If you guys have any questions at all in regards to a breast augmentation or, you know, anything, feel free to leave them below. I'd be happy to help you. Again, like I said, this is something that I wanted for myself. And if it's something that you've been thinking about, those are my dogs. So if this is something that you've been thinking about, I just urge you to do your homework. Research. Go to a bunch of different doctors, go to the consultations, talk to them, and let them know what you want. And one thing I will say, if you feel like you're being rushed out of their office in the consultation, go somewhere else. A doctor that like rushes you out on the consultation, I feel like they're just not in it for you, they're in it for the money, you know what I mean? So just do your research, be smart about it, and truly ask yourself if this is what you want, because you are putting something into your body. So with that, I think I bid you adieu. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions about this. I'd be happy to answer them now that it's out in the open. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing.